sit inside the small, cold toll booth. The night air presses against the thick glass. My job is simple: count the cars, collect the fare. But there is a rule I must obey, a crucial, silent rule. I must never look at the driver's seat of the 100th car. The highway stretches out, dark and endless. My counter clicks. 97, 98. My breath catches in my throat. The air inside the booth grows heavy, thick with unseen pressure. A faint, metallic tang fills my nose. 99. A low hum starts in my ears, growing louder. It feels like an invisible hand pushing my head. My eyes want to lift. The silence outside the booth is absolute. They want to see what is forbidden. I grip the cold coin dispenser, knuckles white. A pair of headlights cuts through the gloom. The car approaches slow and steady. 100. The engine purrs, a low steady thrum. My head turns, against my will. My gaze locks onto the driver's side window. The seat is empty. A faint, dry rustle whispers from inside the car as it passes. The car glides past, silent now. My hand shakes as I reach for the counter. I press the button, forcing the number to reset. The metallic tang in the air burns my throat. My heart hammers against my ribs. I try to breathe slowly. The booth feels smaller, colder. My eyes dart to the rearview mirror. Nothing follows the empty car. The low hum vibrates through the glass. It makes the world outside seem distant. I pick up the coin tray. My fingers fumble with the cold metal. The dry rustle whispers from the corner of the booth. It sounds like someone turning a page. I glance at the clock above the door. The second hand jerks, then stops. It hangs there, unmoving. A cold sweat breaks on my forehead. I force a cough, a normal sound. My gaze sweeps the empty highway. No one is watching. No one could have seen. The silence outside the booth stretches. I grip the counter button, my knuckles white. I must look dizzy. I must look normal. The air itself feels like it's holding its breath. The clock remains frozen. The hum grows louder, a pressure in my skull. I wipe my damp palms on my uniform. The hum presses against my eardrums. My eyes scan the empty road ahead. My reflection stares back from the thick glass. The booth behind me shows clearly in the pane. The clock above the door is visible in the reflection. Its second hand ticks steadily forward. A cold dread washes over me. The real clock, just above my head, remains frozen. It hangs at the same impossible minute. My breath hitches in my chest. The reflected world moves, but my world stands still. A faint smell of ozone prickles my nose. I press my palm against the cold glass. The reflection of my hand touches the ticking clock face. My real hand feels only the smooth, cold pain. The hum vibrates through my bones. I pull my hand back slowly. The reflected clock keeps ticking, mocking me. The booth feels like two places at once. My heart thumps a frantic rhythm. I am trapped between them. The highway outside remains dark and silent. I stare at the real frozen clock. My mind struggles to make sense of it. The air grows heavy, thick with this new impossible truth. My shift stretches out, an endless ticking void. My hand drops from the glass. The real clock above me stays still. My wristwatch feels heavy. I lift my arm. Its hands are frozen, stuck at an impossible hour. The booth is utterly silent, save for the hum. A cold certainty settles in my gut. I reach for the intercom. My job demands I report malfunctions. I press the call button. Only a low, steady static answers. No voice. The static fills the small space. I press it again. The sound remains a dead, hissing whisper. My breath hitches. I pull out my shift logbook. The pen feels light. I try to write the anomaly. The ink is dry. The paper stays blank. My professional tools mock me. The hum vibrates through my teeth. I am alone with this impossible truth. I cannot stay inside this booth. My hand grips the cold door handle. I push the heavy metal outward. The door groans, a long, rusty sound. My boots hit the cold, damp asphalt. The air outside smells of ozone and wet concrete. The path to the main building stretches out before me. It is far longer than I remember. Harsh white light spills from unseen sources, bathing the concrete. The highway is empty, silent. I glance towards the small window of the break room. Through the glass, A bright, sunny afternoon sky shines. No clouds drift across the blue. The main building seems to have moved further away, its familiar shape distorted. My escape leads only to another impossible place. A faint, high-pitched whine echoes from the distant structure. I stand between two worlds, neither making sense. My boots scuff on the concrete path. The high-pitched whine from the building grows louder. It feels like a drill, boring into my skull. I push open a heavy glass door. The air inside is stale and cold. A long, empty hallway stretches before me. Fluorescent lights hum above, flickering faintly. The silence here feels deeper than outside. I step into a small, dusty office. An old wooden desk sits in the middle. A thick, leather-bound book rests on its surface. The smell of old paper fills my nose. I open the ledger slowly. Inside, neat handwriting fills the pages. Dates stretch back, year after year, decades of them. They list event cycles and pattern adjustments. No car numbers, just codes and strange symbols. A faded diagram shows the highway, the booth, and strange energy lines. This is not a mistake. This is a design, a constant operation. The system has always been here, waiting. A cold dread settles deep in my bones. The pages whisper of endless repetition, a planned horror. The words on the page begin to swim. A low groan echoes from the walls. The fluorescent lights above flicker wildly, then dim. The air grows thick with dust and a metallic tang. The floor beneath my feet trembles. The usual hum of the building has vanished. My hand grips the edge of the desk. A high-pitched whine drills into my ears. The walls of the office seem to bend inward. Cracks spiderweb across the ceiling. Dust rains down, stinging my eyes. The air hangs heavy, waiting. The desk groans, then splinters. I stumble back, my heart pounding. The entire room lurches violently. A section of the ceiling crashes down. My breath hitches in my throat. I turn and sprint for the door. The heavy glass door is now warped, stuck. My shoulder slams into it. Once, twice. The glass shudders, then shatters inward. Cold air rushes over my face. I fall through the opening, landing hard on the concrete. The hallway beyond is dark, silent. The office behind me collapses with a final, grinding roar. My body aches, but I am out. My body aches, every muscle screaming. A sharp, metallic taste coats my tongue, like old pennies. My hands tremble, an uncontrollable tremor starting deep in my bones. A cold sweat slicks my skin, chilling me in the dim hallway. The air in the hallway is still, heavy with dust. A faint, high-pitched whine drills into my ears, a phantom echo of the collapsing office. It is not real, but it feels real. My breath comes in ragged gasps, each one a struggle. I push myself up, my knees protesting. The concrete floor feels cold and rough beneath my palms. The darkness presses in from all sides. The ruined office behind me is silent now, a gaping maw. Only dust motes dance in the faint, distant glow of an exit sign. I am out, but the tremor does not stop. Something inside me has shifted, a fundamental change. The world feels thinner, more fragile than before. A deep, cold unease settles in my very bones. I am alone and altered. My legs carry me back to the toll booth. The small structure stands exactly as I left it. Thick glass walls reflect the faint highway lights. The air inside the booth feels colder than it should. A faint metallic tang still clings to the air, a ghost of the last car. My hand reaches for the door handle. The metal is icy beneath my fingers. I step inside. The familiar space now alien. The counter sits on the desk, its digital display showing 000. It resets itself every shift, a normal function, but the number 100 feels burned into my mind. A faint dry rustle whispers from the corner, like old paper shifting. It is the sound of nothing, yet it fills the booth. My gaze sweeps the interior, searching for any sign. The coin dispenser gleams under the small overhead light. No one else would see it. A subtle distortion ripples across the thick glass pane facing the highway. It is barely there, a shimmer that catches the light wrong. The booth feels like a cage now, its walls pressing in. I am trapped with the memory, the impossible truth. The highway stretches out, dark and endless. The subtle distortion on the glass pane facing the highway ripples now. It bends the distant lights into wavering streaks. My fingers trace the cold, thick surface. A deep, quiet hum vibrates through the floor beneath my feet. The booth itself seems to breathe around me. I understand now. The counter resets, but the pattern does not. Every 100th car will pass, empty. My gaze drifts to the highway, a dark ribbon. I am the only one who sees this impossible truth. No one else will ever believe it. A faint, sweet smell, like ozone after a storm, drifts from the vents. This booth is not just a job. It is a loop, a silent promise. My isolation is absolute. The highway stretches out, dark and endless. It waits for the next cycle to begin. And I am always here.